what I did back in 2018, I was on a plane and I was reading a couple of articles that were talking about how poor the Brits were in terms of productivity. And it was basically a couple of surveys that said they were productive for 2.5 to 3 hours a day. And in the same report said the Canadians were productive for 1.5 hours a day. And I thought, why is that? Is that happening in my business? And so I wondered whether, if I actually did a deal with my staff whereby I paid them for 5 days, they only had to work for 4, would they do things differently? So that I would actually get better levels of productivity. Because, if that 3 hours is right, you only have to find 45 minutes of additional productivity in each of 4 days to make up for the lost day. So it was an intellectual question. I thought, well, why not? Let's try this. And of course, the results were astounding. Engagement scores in our business went up 40%. Stress levels dropped 15%. Our productivity went up about 25%. But more importantly, the rest of the world picked up this story of this company in New Zealand trying this thing, and it just exploded. We were the second most read story in the New York Times after the Trump-Putin summit when it got published in the States.
Right.
So this is something that was a journey we didn't expect to be on, but what happened is it suddenly seemed to resonate with people all the way around the world.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The audio, you want to make sure the audio, lost picture, but we still have audio. So there you are. Now I see audio. So now, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in, just outside of Austin, Texas, and we're you're in England. So this is great that we can even do this in this day and age. So I'm not complaining. So I can see and hear you now. So now getting back to the dynamics of this, because I've heard about it. It was a big thing on CNN that talked about, the 4-day week. I think were you featured on CNN for this, by the way?
Yeah. I think we've been interviewed in 97 countries now, and we stopped counting when we went past about 15,000 articles and stories. And so, it's a thing, right?
Right. And I remember it, and you talk about this yourself because you say you're a retail business, and I have a online retail business. And what do you do with the dynamics of sales? Like, let's say, your sales team has Monday through Thursday, but they really need that Friday to answer the sales calls. How does the dynamics of that work with a 4-day week when the other competition is open as well?
Well, what we really talk about, the 4-day week is a little bit of clickbait, if we're being honest. What we're really talking about is reduced hours working. So we call it the 100-80-100 rule. 100% pay, 80% time, provided we get 100% productivity. So that can apply to anybody working 5 days, or indeed part-time staff as well. Actually, you work 80% of your contract time, but we need to get the full productivity. Now, in my business, because we're retail, we can't close. So what happens is that people rotate through, or they take off the time that's important to them. Now, some people take a day, some people take 2 half days, and some, our parents quite often, will work 5 days, but they will work compressed hours, and they'll do that often so they can take the kids to school or pick the kids up. What we're doing is we're saying to the staff, you take the time off that's critical to you. And because that's what you get, that is the thing that makes it really important to them. They can't buy that time. So the best example of this for me is I have a chap down in Dunedin in one of our offices. He's a grandfather. He takes 2 afternoons off a week. He walks home, gets himself a little fit, And then in the afternoon, his granddaughter comes round, and they do grandfather-granddaughter stuff 2 afternoons a week. And they have tea together, and then she goes home. Now, when he tells the story of this, he cries, because he would never, ever get that chance. Now, ask yourself a question. Is that guy going to do anything to prejudice the 4-day week? Or is he going to do absolutely everything he can to keep it?